Hello, welcome to Flight Simulator 2020. So we are going to fly over a couple of houses. The first one is in New Hampshire, USA, Lynborough to be honest. So we're taking off from Nashua Airport in a Cessna. We're going to then follow the main road between Nashua and Milford into Milford. Then we're going to do a right, head up into the mountains, into Lynborough, and then we should spot the house where my American family live. It's fairly easy. It's right on a intersection. It's quite a big house. Now the thing with Flight Simulator 2020, the big draw to it is the graphics, the way that it uses data from Bing Maps, all the satellite data, and then it has a very fancy program which draws everything in 3D on top of that. So as my uncle's house is quite big, fingers crossed it is actually going to be there, and we might even be able to spot a few sites along the way for those of you who are familiar with the area. For those that aren't, you're just going to have to take my word for it. So we've just gone past on the right Continental Boulevard, which is a main road which links Nashua to the D.W. Webster Highway, which is basically how you get into and out of Boston. So I'm just going to power off a bit so that we don't go too fast.
500.
And let's see what I can pick out. So we're just going to head west. It shouldn't take more than about 2 or 3 minutes to get there. Now I'm going to be assuming that that large hill on the very right of the screen is Mount Monadnock. Let's go to an external view, that's easier to spot things. Just make sure I'm okay.
500.
Okay. We fly to the side of the road as opposed to straight over it. So line myself up and we'll come back out to an external view. So my uncle's lived in New Hampshire for just over 30 years. I've been going there 25 years now. So I'm as familiar with this area as I am with where I live in the UK, which we'll see a bit later on. Just bring the speed down a little bit more. The attention to detail in this game is absolutely phenomenal. I was flying around Manhattan yesterday evening and it is quite stunning. Even the text on the Statue of Liberty's book that she holds is there, and even the sort of gargoyle-y things on the Chrysler building. It's just so detailed once you get into the really big cities. So there's the main road we're following on the left. Once you get out into the sticks, you lose some of the detail on the buildings, so if there are any sort of local landmarks, you tend not to see them in as much detail as you would in downtown city areas. But there's still some geographical things you can pick out quite well. When we're going to be coming up very shortly to the Milford Oval. So we'll come back outside. Nice clear skies. power. Don't want to end the flight before it begins. It's such a pretty area. The Sahuagin River just below us. There around to the left. So there's the Milford Oval, right underneath my wingtips. So we need to just hang left a bit, head towards Milford. We could go right. We're not going to stall. Just pick the pace up a bit. There's the baseball diamond out on the right. As you drive through Milford, that's an easy spot. I imagine we'll probably see Kitchener's because that's quite a big factory. That's where most of my relatives in the US have worked at some point, and my aunt still does. Should be easy to spot because the road splits. There's a fork coming up. There's the fork just above the top of my wings, and yes, the Kitchener's factory is there. It's they make parts for aviation, ironically. So there's the fork, that's where it splits to take over the railroad. So the big white building now underneath to the left is Kitchener's. They haven't rendered it as high as it actually is. So we're coming up to an intersection again just above my plane, where the 101 and the 101A cross. So we're going to do a right turn here. We're going to head out to the farms, do a left, and that will take us up into the mountains where we should find the Dean residence. So let's follow the road, nice and twisty. Be interesting to see how much of this is recognisable, because there's a lot of quite big houses and a few farms as you go up this mountain road. This road takes you up to Lindborough, then you can also go to Wilton. So just keep following this road. There's so many trees here. When you're driving, you only get a break from the trees every so often, and then you see exactly how high up you are. Ah, yellow below us. Those yellow blocks below us are school buses. I use that little parking lot to park a lot of the school buses, so we're not far. We'll be there really shortly, and then once we're over it, I'll pause, come out of the plane, use the camera. So we're really not far at all. Looking for a big fork in the road. There we go, there we go, there it is, there it is. I can see it. Yep, the house is there. So here's the fork in the road. I'm just going to pause the game. Then we're going to change the camera to come out of the plane. The house is directly below my plane on the right with the green roof. So let's go and have a look. So there it is, how incredible. Just Get my controls sorted, my bearings. There we go. Let's swoop down. So this is my uncle's house in Lindburgh, New Hampshire. It's huge. You could fit my house in it about 5 times, 6 times. It's right on the intersection with a couple of roads. And there we are. Right, let's find my place. So we're back in the UK. Here we are at Luton Airport, London Luton. We're just going to take off. We're going to, again, there's no need to use sort of GPS to find the house because there's so many local natural navigation points like main roads and stuff. So we're going to take off here in the same Cessna, head out to the M1. Then we'll do a left, go down the M1 south to one junction, turn right, fly towards my village, which is Markyate in Hertfordshire, and then we'll do a left. And again, as soon as I spot my close, I'll pause the game, come out with the roving camera, and see what my house looks like. So we're just coming up to the end of the spur road that links the M1 to the airport. The main M1 junction is just visible above the tip of my nose. So once we get to there, we're just going to do a left bank and follow the M1 down just a mile or so to the next junction. Okay. So again, we'll just fly to the left of it, give us a much better angle to bank right. Junction is just up ahead, just above the tip of my nose. It comes back on itself to the right, so we'll make a nice wide turn and then pick up the road. So we're just going to cut a corner here. The road junction is below, just on the left. Okay, we're out of London Luton airspace, where all the traffic controllers are American. Okay, so we're just going to follow this road now towards towards the village of Markyate, which is just below us on the left, really. There it is. So I just need to get the turning right. A bit high, 1600 feet. Very slowly drop. Oh, 1700 feet, so we're climbing. So we're higher than we were in New Hampshire. It's going to make it slightly harder to spot, but I should still see it. Let's turn in. Okay, so I've spotted the road that my close is off, and there's my close. I can see it, so right, let's pause. come out of the plane again, and we'll descend and see what my house looks like. Ah, already it looks as if my house isn't there. My close is a four-sided, well, quadrant, and it looks like they've only built houses on three sides. So my house might not actually be in the game, but that is because there's an awful lot of trees there, and in our gardens there are these huge trees which might actually obscure the satellite imagery. So here we are, zooming into my close, and yes, all the houses on my side of the quadrant are trees. So what is to do is I'll just position that waypoint icon in the top left of the screen. I'll just get in a position where that is where my house should be. But I've got to say, the rest of the close looks pretty good. So let me just bring it down, and there we are. So my house is there, where that 2 nautical miles marker is. Anyway, there we go. My uncle's house and my house, sort of. Thanks for watching. See you next time.